up? What up? Welcome back to the Crown and Stitch podcast, the official Fitted Hats podcast. Snapbacks, too, that you need in your life. My name is Nick Ingvall. I'm with my guy, Keith. We're going to talk about some hats tonight. We're going to get into some random stuff. We just pulled some from the back of the stack to talk about, get a little nostalgic maybe, get a little weird maybe. I got some random ones to share, so I'm looking forward to this episode. Keith, what's good, man? How you been?
Man, I've been all right. A little bit busy, all that, but still got to try to get an episode in for the people, right?
Yeah, man. It's funny because I've been wanting to talk to you and Dex about it, but I feel like we got to get back to that half-hour sweet spot, so we're not doing these like marathon episodes because we've done so many that go like 45 an hour because we enjoy talking about this stuff. But I feel like people would rather be like, just give me that like commute. That like half-hour commute kind of vibe, listening, I don't know. Let us know how long you think these episodes should be, because we're just having fun with it. We're just trying to make something that's enjoyable for people. But I think before we get into all these random hats, we should just start off with the kicks and fits. Like I got a good one to share, but I'm gonna let you start us off.
All right, you're gonna have to save the best for last then. So I think I'm going all snapbacks this episode. I don't think I have a single fitted in anything I'm pulling out today, but this is like a random giant snapback. I just really like the logo. I found this at Lids and had some points. I'm pretty sure like with whatever discount I had, it was like $5-10 maybe. And figure I'd do a new pickup on the kicks.
Nice.
I was really jealous that I saw both you and Dexter with them. And then I got a package at my house and got a surprise gift, and those showed up. So I was super stoked because it was something like I didn't really want to spend the money on at the time, but something I still felt like I definitely needed to have in the collection, So
yeah, man,
very grateful to have those.
Totally. What can you show that hat again?
Yeah.
What's the side patch is like the old 80s one?
Yeah, just the old.
Yeah.
Sorry,
okay.
I'm trying to focus in on that. But just that's
dope,
script
man.
of the baseball.
Yeah. It's so random because like it's almost like they created a whole new logo for the hat. You're just like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like it has a ball on it, like kind of like those old Phillies logos or some of the ones you see the Phillies script all the way across. And that was like never a Giants logo or alternate logo or anything, was it?
Not that I know of.
Definitely not on field, that's for sure.
Yeah. So a rarity for me. I think I shared this hat at some point, but this is going to be another one. This is the A's hat from was it Hat Club, the beer pack, few months back, and I got the Eric Emanuel Reebok Answer 5. I didn't even realize how close these were until like today, and I was like, oh damn, we got to definitely talk about that. The only thing is, like the liner on this is actually navy. The outline on this is actually black, but damn, so close, And
I don't think anyone will be able to tell the difference, And plus, if you got your jeans sitting over the top or something, that's dead on right there.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But
that's a top 5 kicks and fits of any of the episodes so far, I think, man.
Yeah, we might have to I'm gonna actually do like a version of the like a cut up top 5s or a list of the best kicks and fits from the episodes so far. We've got plenty of them now, so I mean,
yeah, we're stacking them up, right?
Yeah. So I don't really have any new pickups, man. That's kind of why I was like, we should just talk about some random old stuff because, it's the holidays. I feel guilty. So full disclosure, I don't do like normal like gifts for people. I usually like give people stuff, but it's not like I'm like not like, yo, this is the holiday that I give you gifts. Like I'll just like surprise, like send you some stuff, right? And so the holidays, like I like to do that and just send it random stuff, not around Christmas, right? Like not around Thanksgiving. Just be like, oh, just something showed up like December 7th or something, just because it's like, it feels cool. Cause like people are like, oh shit, why did this show up now? Why am I even thinking about this? And I don't do wrapping stuff. I just don't get into that stuff usually. I do sometimes when the mood strikes, but I also don't have kids, so I don't have to worry about Christmas being a big thing, So for me, that's all kind of like the reason that I don't spend a bunch on myself during this time, like these last couple months of the year, because I'm like, I want to like hook up my friends. I want to, make some new merch. I want to like, spend some money on things that like other people can get excited about. So that is in a sense why like I really slowed down. And maybe in a future episode you'll find out why I'm slowing down even more. But it's just I feel like I also feel guilty about like just buying and buying and buying and buying sometimes. I'm just like, I love it, but I also know that it's not good for me to just be like blowing money on stuff that I don't really need, because we all got stacks of stuff, but
yeah. Don't need to be a super consumer, right? Like,
yeah.
I kind of like that idea too, because like I bet you to other people when they're receiving that stuff, it almost feels like more thoughtful, like that it's not like, oh, you're only getting this because it's Christmas and it's wrapped up and I feel like obligated to give you something like that. And then on top of that, you don't have to be like Black Friday, like stiff arming people in a Walmart or something, you know what I mean? For like a new TV. It's like you can avoid that whole mess.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, like it makes it easier for like personally, I don't really, this sounds bad, but like, I don't want like people to go spending a bunch of money on me. Right. Like I appreciate the gesture, but honestly, like, let's meet up and have dinner, let's go grab a coffee. Let's go grab lunch or something. That's more important to me. It's not that I don't appreciate like the gifts that come through, but there's plenty of people that don't celebrate these holidays. And it's like, I still want to show my appreciation for them. And by kind of just being random about it, I feel like, okay, cool. Like I can send this to anybody and it's not attached to a specific holiday or something. It's like, yeah, I just wanted to send you this because I thought I was cool and I thought of you, like I've already picked up like a bunch of like, and some of the stuff is completely useless that people will not, like they'll look at it and they'll get a laugh out of it, but like that's good enough for me, right? Like as long as it makes you smile when you get that package, that's what it's about. But anyway, like I think the buying thing and the consumer thing is really tough because like you want to be a part of it. It's like, you the Christmas stuff is just the holiday stuff, right? That we do as like a society, like even shit like ice skating rink in Union Square, like that stuff is like, it only happens during that time of the year. So it's like, it's special, but try not to get caught up in the like buy year round thing because you just can't keep up. But no. Anyway, I'm rambling about this.
I will say the two things that, speaking on consuming goods, I will be trying for Chicago ones, and I will be trying for the Amamir Force. That's like, if I can hit on those for myself, that's my Christmas present to myself if I'm able to hit. And besides that, no more money will be leaving my wallet until the holidays are over, and probably even after that. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to be blowing crazy amounts of money for no reason.
Yeah, I mean those Chicago ones are. I mean, I've never had Chicago's or bread ones ever, so I mean. It seems weird that I've never had those shoes considering I've had so many shoes and like been in the industry for so long, but it's one of those things where like, I think those shoes are kind of so classic that anytime they come back, I like to try to get a pair. It doesn't seem like these are going to be as crazy as they once seemed to be. So hopefully they're a little bit more accessible. I mean, I tried on the sneakers app today to get Cherry 11s just because I was like, well, it showed up in my feed. I might as well try. But I haven't hit on the sneakers app on anything in so long. I can't even remember like the last thing that I got, but
I hit on those for my girl today. I struck out on my pair. I don't even know if I wanted them. I like the shoe, but I was just like, I might as well just try anyway. And so I'm kind of glad I didn't hit, but yeah, I don't know, dude, the Chicago's like, I was going to stop at Shoe Palace today on my way to go somewhere. And, Will from the Discord had sent me a picture and he showed me the line at the Shoe Palace near the mall by my house. And it was crazy long, dude. He said they had one of those, those little plastic buckets or containers. Yeah. And he said it was like half full of raffle tickets. He said there was like 1,000+ raffle tickets in there. So I didn't have time to go wait in like a hour line to go put in a raffle. So I said, you know what, if I hit on sneakers, cool, or any of the online raffles, but I'm not going to wait in an hour line to go do that.
Yeah, man. I also am kind of like at this point where, although I want those Chicago ones, especially because the Lost and Found story we talked about on Sneaker History, but like the Lost and Found story is like so good, but it's like such a dick move by Nike to be like,
it is. Yeah, it really
let's
is.
celebrate the people we put out of business, but the story is really good. I remember, I have pictures probably way back on my Instagram and social accounts, probably if Facebook pictures are still up there, like when I would find that stuff, like it was a thing. Like I have friends that definitely scooped pairs back in the 90s for $20, like, and it was like fucking crazy,
like real dead stock stuff, right? Not just like dead stock haven't been worn, like stuff from the back of a like mom and pop shop, right?
Yeah. So I think I probably told this on Sneaker History, but it's kind of funny because like I think about it a lot when we talk about fitteds, because when we did the questions and talked about what we think for the future of fitteds, Dexter talks about like a store that's almost like a record store or something, very nostalgic, right? Where people are just digging through to see what's there. And that's like really cool to me. Like I would love to see that be a thing. But it reminded me of when I moved to New York, maybe like 2011 or something. 2012. No, it had to been 2012, I think, when I was living in Brooklyn and I was kind of wandering around finding all these old sporting goods stores, right? Because like the cool thing about like the Bay, LA, New York, big cities still have the old tennis, racket club type stores where you're like, people go to buy like, literal tennis rackets because they don't want to buy it from like your regular sporting goods store. And those places always carried sneakers back in the 80s and 90s. So I ended up at this place. I forget what the name of it's called, but it's out on Long Island. It was kind of in like the Little Neck area, if anybody's familiar with New York. And I went into this store and, it's super crowded, like just stuffed with things, like kind of what you would expect from like an old store. Cause it's like, they're real small. There's not a whole lot of space, but like they clearly don't sell things like the way that we expect to see it now, where like everything sells out and everything's gone. And this is 2012. So I'm going through like this like like basement area, right? So it's like a downstairs below the main floor. That's like kind of like, another shoe wall, bunch of like old jackets, stuff like that. I didn't really find any cool like sports jackets because I was looking for like old starter jackets and that kind of thing. Or, some of the brands that you're going to talk about on this episode from back in the day, but like I'm going through some of the sneaker stuff. A LeBron 2, all white LeBron 2 low. I think it was a low. Now it's been a long time, so I don't remember. Sitting on this rack for $60. It was a size like 10 or something, so I didn't end up getting it. But like that shoe came out in 2007, I think. So like that shoe had been sitting on that table or somewhere in that store. There was multiple of them, but it was like, and there was a few other like random LeBrons. Like this is before Kobe passed, so like there was a couple of old Kobe sitting there, none in my size, so I wasn't trying to flip old stuff like that when I was living in New York because I just didn't have space in my apartment. But it was one of those things where I was like, damn, this is like the dream. I wish I had like a YouTube channel back then to like show this, because it was so dope to find all that stuff. And, like who knows how long it takes for that place to sell through it, because it's a tiny space in a really small, like a small kind of neighborhood town, whatever, pretty decently far out on Long Island. It's not like there's a ton of people that are like out there shopping for sneakers, because like the sneakers are in, Manhattan. They're in the middle of the city. Like that's where people are going for the most part. I know there's some great shops around there outside of the city, but and throughout
How
all
are
the
they not
boroughs.
out of business?
Well, and I think it's just because they sell a lot of tennis products. Like it was like tennis and
Okay.
golf was like the thing. Like it's in a really wealthy area, so it's like not really wealthy, but like pretty wealthy. So it was like a good amount of like just like newer, higher end stuff that like they probably stopped carrying a lot of the basketball stuff through whenever through the years. But it was definitely a cool experience, and it makes me think that. And like I hope that someday we get to that point with fitteds, right? Because one of the things that you were talking about, and like some of the hats that you probably will pull out, right? Just like, and one of the ones that I pulled out, like it's just you kind of randomly come across it, and like, okay, well, cool, it's on sale, like that's still the funnest way to collect things, in my opinion. Is not about the money for me. It's about the like experience of the chase and the hunt for that thing, whatever it is. And sometimes you don't even know you're hunting for it. You just end up in a place and you see like, oh, they got a bunch of old hats, especially for me wearing like outlier sizes, a size 13 shoe and a size 8 hat. Like those are the ones that end up sitting more so than not, because they don't buy a lot of them. And like a lot of people don't wear those sizes. So it's like, I have a good shot of actually getting those in that situation. But it's also like just one of those things where the experience of going into a shop and digging through and finding stuff is like so fun for so many people. But anyway, I'm going to let you talk about your some of your shares for today, because the old brands that we used to hunt for are definitely a part of this conversation.
Yeah, first of all, I'm a liar. I have one fitted in here. And the reason I pulled it out was, what we were talking about last episode about the All-Star game and the pinwheel hat specifically, but I went back and pulled out the one that I had. It had pinwheel with the orange, the black on the side. I never wear this hat, but like
that's
it
dope
just
though.
looks cool to me. This what was this 2018 All-Star game in Washington D.C. But yeah, it's dope, like it was just something that's it was kind of unique. I don't think there were a lot of them left on the shelf. It was I got this after 2018. I'm pretty sure it was just sitting there. Yeah. All the hats that I'm going to pull out, I don't think a single one was over $15-$20. I just pulled some random stuff, and I don't wear them a lot. I do every once in a while, but it's like they look cool. I like them, and I feel like it's stuff that like I don't see on a daily basis or don't see scrolling through my Instagram feed and stuff like that. So it's just sometimes those ones feel more special to have in the collection than like the super hype, $300-$400 resale hats that you see on eBay, or the constant stream that you see on your feed.
Yep, totally. One of the ones that I pulled out is like kind of one of those ones where like I bought it because I was like, oh, it's a fitted King's hat, right? But it's just not something I will wear. I mean, it's got the crown on the side, which is dope. Script logo on the front, Mitchell and Ness on the back, black under. But the thing that drives me nuts about it, it was one of those ones, just like you said, I think I paid like $12 for it, right? This sandwich bill thing.
Oh, it's like the thick one, right? How they have like the material on top and then on the bottom, and there's an extra thing in the middle.
Yep. Drives me crazy, man. Drives me crazy. I can't do it. I mean, I would have no reason to keep this other than the fact that we have a show talking about hats.
That is a good looking hat, though. I'm not gonna lie, I do like it. Like the King script across the front, it's a good looking hat. And like you said, it's unique too. Like I don't think I've ever seen a King's hat with the King's script across the front like that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's one of those weird ones though, where it was like you buy it and you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna actually wear this, but it's gonna sit here with the rest of these hats.
$12.
Give me an option.
You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Speaking of old brands and stuff, this was another like random like walking around lids pickup here. This is a Stanford Cardinal hat, snapback, green under, white guts in there. This is a Sports Specialties. I always remembered this brand as a kid and logo. Like I remember having like old like logo jerseys, like a Peyton Manning Colts jersey, like from when I was like in elementary school, like when his first couple of years playing. And I think it's just like you said, it's like the nostalgia too. It's just like seeing those old brands and like having those memories tied to when I was a kid, I think it was like my fourth grade teacher, like she nicknamed me Red Shirt because I would just wear a different Niner jersey every day of the week. It was just like Garrison Hurst, Merton Hanks, Terrell Owens, Steve Young, Jerry Rice. I just had one for every day, and I'd probably rock them with a pair of like green sweatpants, like a embarrassing times, but
Yep. It shapes us though, it gives us character. Yeah. It is kind of funny though, because like the brands that pick up these licensing deals, right? Like we've kind of been in this weird era of like Fanatics owning everything in terms of, licensing. I mean, I know they don't own everything. There's plenty of brands that still have licenses for a lot of the sports, but they just don't. I don't know. It's just been really weird. Which that's actually why I wanted to share this one. This is actually a camo bill on a Sharks like gunmetal snap Western Conference on the side. This is a snapback. This is a 47 brand. This my friend Max, shout out to Max, gave me this years back. And what I wanted to show on it is, I don't know if you can see that, but it actually has like a sample tag in there, which is really interesting. Like right here.
Oh, I see it now.
So like, I mean, I don't wear snapbacks very often because most of the time they just don't fit my head right. But this is like one of those reasons for me to like I love seeing all the details, And one of the things I was going to point out on this too, like, I don't know if they do this on all their hats. I'll have to look at some of my other 47s, but the actual cap on the underside of the squatchy has the 47 like embossed in it, like on the metal part. Super dope.
I'm gonna have to look at mine too. I only own like 247 brand hats, just they don't fit my head very well, and like the brim seems kind of like weirdly shaped. So I literally think I have like two of them, but they're both snapbacks, so I don't know if that's the reason.
Yeah,
but I love the side patch on that too. That's dope.
It's clean, man. And this actually, like, the shape of this hat is actually pretty solid.
No, yeah, that definitely looks pretty good.
But it's interesting though, because like 47 brand, like 47 took over some of that sports specialties logo, like athletic, kind of just like energy, right? Like they kind of became, it's like them and Ebbets Field kind of became the like, new sort of like off the beaten path brands where like they do a lot of cool shit, but they're not like super mainstream, sell out everything like everybody tries to be now, which I love that about those brands, because it's like, yo, we're just going to make good shit. It's going to be high quality, and we're not going to make a ton of everything, but like we're going to make, a decent amount to where like our product should be accessible, which I don't know why. Like maybe I'm just like thinking about all these releases that we just don't get because it's like gone before you get to it. But it just feels like they kind of took over that space. And it's just a dope hat too. Like that gunmetal and the black on there is.
Yeah, that's a good color.
Sick. Yeah. But what else you got?
I got one more here. So I used to just like walk into lids and fans and stuff in the mall, and I would just beeline straight to like the sale rack, because every once in a while I'd find some cool stuff over there. And this one kind of caught my eye. The brim is all wonky, but it's been sitting in the box for a minute. This is like a orange denim snapback, but it just like instantly caught my eye. And like I said, it was like $10, and I just couldn't pass it up. And I don't think I've worn that hat one time, but I don't know, something about it caught my eye, and maybe I will wear it eventually, but it was just something that looked kind of cool and unique to me that I feel like at least needed to be in the collection, even if it doesn't really ever end up on my head.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I have a couple of these that I'm going to share too. Like, I think, let me see here. So because we were talking so much about sneakers, I figure I'd share a couple of these. This is actually like just kangaroos. Ooh. We talked about this on one of the community calls for the Discord a couple weeks back, and this is just a snapback that I got with some of the shoes they sent me years ago. But I've hung on to it because I've never seen like any kind of kangaroos, anything outside of like shoes, and occasionally some t-shirts. But it's just super simple, nothing crazy.
Yeah, they don't do a lot of apparel, huh?
No,
If
they don't do
any.
it much at all. Yeah. And I don't know where the brand is at right now, but it's in an interesting place. So it makes me think of like how these brands navigate that, right? Because you would think, I mean, this is probably 20, I don't know, maybe somewhere 2009 to 2014 era. And the branding this big and the like super puff embroidery is really kind of fitting for that era, in my opinion. Um, it's a Pacific Headwear. So like it's actually got like the Pacific Headwear logo on there on the back. I don't know if you can see that,
Oh yeah, it
but
looks like it's
it's
a
just
pretty
one of
good
those.
quality hat too. Like it.
Oh, it's nice. Yeah, it's actually really good. I'm surprised, to be honest. But yeah, it's just one of those things that like I've always kept just kind of as like a, little bit nostalgic for me, like, when I was, more of a media person getting free shit all the time. But it's just interesting too, because like now if you recreated a hat for one of these footwear brands or any brand, right, you wouldn't go as bold like that. I don't think it'd be like, oh, let's do a little bit more of a refrain, like maybe like a 2-inch 2.5-inch logo,
Mhm.
across the front, keep it a little low key. Or you would, for me, like I would rather see the actual kangaroo logo that they use on the shoes. But
But that's
yeah,
what
just
makes
one of
that
those
cool, though.
random
Like
ones.
I like that. They have it blasted all the way across the front of the hat, like that.
Yeah. Well, and that's like I think that's really interesting too, because like we just have like these like eras where people go crazy, right? So this is actually another one. This is dirty. Sorry, I apologize. It's been collecting dust in the closet. This is actually Kicks Hawaii, which is a shop in Honolulu that actually went out of business a number of years ago now. But yeah, like pinstripes, right? We just didn't see pinstripes very much, but they did like the whole like whole series of these like fitteds and always had colors that matched kind of Bay Area teams, and they usually did a lot of their sneaker collabs with like those kind of colors. And it just made me think of like talking about sneakers and connecting to fitteds. Like I got to dig some more and see what else I got, because there's plenty of stories in the archives for me that we could talk about. But it's one of those things too, like they were such a, I don't know that I would say they were small, but they were definitely a smaller like store. But to have like an actual new era back then, this is probably like 2008 or something. But yeah, it's a good one. And then I got to share this one today because Dexter's not here and I know he hates brown. But my friend Derek, shout out to Derek, 415 Clothing. If you're from the city, you probably have seen these around. This is the Muni inspired fitted. Get the SF logo on the back, 415 bridge logo across the front, orange underbill, brown. Um, this is one of those brands that like streetwear brands in the Bay Area that I think I don't know how much he's still doing now. A lot of the guys that were creating those brands now have like got kids and lives outside of the clothing brands that they started. But I wanted to share that one because I mean I'm not like a huge fan of the brown, but I mean when you tie it into the Muni and you've got the bridge logo on it, it's pretty damn dope. So
Yeah, I love how they do that logo across the front with the bridge, how it's spelled out like that. Like I don't know, that's really creative and like unique. You don't usually see stuff like that.
yeah, yeah, and you could, I mean, just to have 415 in that is super dope. So not sure if his site is still up, but 415 Clothing is a brand if you want to check it out. I know he's still on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, but yeah, that's about all that I got today. I think
We're gonna have to have Dexter on and do an episode like this, and he's gonna have to pull out like stacks of obscure hats and
yeah,
go into his
yep,
archives a little bit too, because like I think it'd be really cool to see some of the stuff he has. So maybe in
yeah,
a
for sure.
near future episode, we'll have to do this again.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. I love looking at all this old stuff too, and I think like it gives people an idea of like how the game has progressed when it comes to fitteds too, because like this 415 hat is not a new era collab, right? Like this is like probably 07, 06, 07, 08, something like that. And then like Kicks Hawaii was a little bit bigger of a brand, got the New Era collab, that was a big deal back then. So it's cool to see these kind of people progress and get to do the cool shit, just because they've been grinding, making it happen. So, but yeah, man, that's a pretty much a wrap for this episode. We'll get Dexter on, and we'll talk about some of his archive, and then yeah, man, we're gonna have to do some best of the year conversations here really, really soon. So just plant the seeds, start thinking, got to mix it up.
Hey, do you see the time? Look at the time on this. On the nose.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Cool, man. Well, why don't you let them know how they can find you outside of the show?
You can find me at Keith the Sneak with 2 Ks on the end. Pretty much all social media platforms. I'll leave the OnlyFans to Dexter. Check out the Sneaker History Discord. Hop in there. Follow at Crown and Stitch on all the platforms too.
Yes, sir. First link in the description will get you into the Discord. Doesn't cost you a thing. We're always improving it, adding more links, adding more value to it. So if you want to hop in there and join some other great people, you can. You can follow me at Nick Engvall on all the platforms. But like Keith said, at Crown and Stitch everywhere. Make sure you hit subscribe on YouTube because we're really trying to get that channel popping. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.
Later, guys.